So apparently Tommy's got some rumors regarding the chamber that maybe me and Snug haven't heard. What is it, Tommy? Tell us about it.
I'm not sure if this has been confirmed or not, but apparently the location of Elimination Chamber is going to end up being Chicago.
And when is this supposed to take place again? I forgot. When is Elimination Chamber?
Usually February. Usually
Okay.
February. Rumble is usually supposed to be in January, if not the very first weekend of February, because they have no pay-per-view in between Chamber and Mania, usually in the March area now. So it should be in February. But if it's in Chicago, my boy's probably walking out a champion before Mania. Yeah. Or he's winning a contendership. Yeah. Or he's winning a contendership to face Seth at WrestleMania.
That should be fun. I mean, Chicago's their fucking crowd is also always really, really fun and energetic. So that would be a cool place to have Elimination Chamber for sure. That's kind of exciting.
I'd be on board with it as hell. And we finally got the reveal as well from Crown Jewel's PLE that the official announcement date for WWE's Survivor Series War Games will be November 29th, which is crazy because John Cena's final appearance is literally 15 days after that or 14 days after that on the 13th of December. So they're pushing that one real close to his final appearance. And there's the rumors that apparently he is now appearing at Survivor Series in a match as well, potentially rumored against Dominic Mysterio. So
that should be fucking cool.
For the IC Championship.
Posted a picture of Cena holding up 4 fingers, and it's saying Raw in Boston, Raw at Madison Square Garden, Survivor Series, and then Saturday night's main event is all he's got.
Wasn't this supposed to be the 4th date?
I know, right?
What the
every
fuck?
time I feel like they have done the 5 dates left 3 times. I feel like
they're just adding more fucking dates.
I legit feel I'm about to start Googling all the appearances he actually used and count to see if they actually totaled out to the amount he was supposed to have, because I'm legitimately feeling like we're getting gaslit here. Because I swear to God, the last time they said it was 5 appearances.
Yes.
The time before that, they said it was 5 appearances.
Yes.
I swear to God. Because almost a month ago, we had said he's only got 5 dates left.
I'm not complaining, man. I want to see more of Cena, but fuck, dude.
I want to see more of him too, but bro, I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. How's it a month ago we hear 5 appearances, and then we count the dates for the 5 appearances? They've been counting them down on the Titantron, and then a month later, 2 appearances later, he's got 5 dates. Wait, what? No.
I think the same guy that is keeping track of the Cena dates is the same guy that keeps track of their attendance.
For real, because legit, I swear to God, they said WrestlePalooza was his 5th appearance. 5 appearances left. Swear to God, they said that shit.
Fucking crazy.
Oh my God. Let's get into this shit.
Yeah, anyway, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Snug Wrestling Podcast. I am hosting. I am Edgar, and Mr. Blood is here. He's back. We missed you yesterday, Mr. Blood, for the Friday Night SmackDown review. Tommy is here. What's going on, fellas? How we feeling?
Not hungover. I'm a heavyweight, but a little loose. I wasn't here last night because I went out in Cody and Damian Priest's words for libations, and Cody's immortal words, dogs gotta hunt. And then today was my mother-in-law's birthday, so on 4 hours.
Happy birthday to
Anita. Yep.
Happy birthday, Anita.
On 4 hours of sleep and several drinks and a late night last night, I woke up to watch an ungodly houred beginning start time for Crown Jewel at 8 a.m. and I woke up at 7. And
man, fuck you with your 8 a.m. Boy, I had to wake up at 5.
Yeah, but I went to bed at 3. So as soon as I woke up, I legit had to brush my teeth, put in my contacts, use the restroom, got some water, sat in bed on my new VPN, by the way, which is amazing to have all of WWE on Netflix. However, I have to figure out the location access to where I can Chromecast it to my TV, because I had to lay in my bed and watch the whole 3-hour, 45-minute show on my cell phone, which was a pain in the ass. When I have a 58-inch and a 55-inch mounted in my room. But and so I'm just sitting there like, this is bogus. But then as soon as the show got done, went out for lunch and bowling and more drinks, ran back here to do a new Blood Drop episode, which will be out in just about an hour and a half once it gets posted when we're off of here, talking about these new WWE releases that have just happened, by the way. And here I am, extremely exhausted, ready to do this and then go watch TV and take these fucking shoes off.
Yeah, dude, we woke up yesterday for SmackDown today, and we're probably gonna do it again on Monday. But I don't know. Tommy passed out today during Crown Jewel, apparently.
Yeah, I was watching it. I had Soto stream up on my phone, and then all of a sudden, right around the time where the entrances ended for Cena and AJ, I passed out.
Yeah, dude, I don't fucking blame you, man. It's fucking crazy waking up this fucking early to watch pro wrestling. Like,
It's like
Jesus
the 90s,
Christ.
Saturday morning wrestling in the 90s. Like you wake up with your grandma or your uncle or some shit, and you're sitting in the living room watching it before breakfast is even made. And it's like, bruh, I don't work a regular job like most people. I'm fortunate enough to have a full-time content creation job, and I haven't seen 8 a.m. in a year. So I'm used to waking up at 11 to noon because I go to bed at 3 or 4 every morning because I'm always making content and shit. So when I had to get up at 7, I was like, oh, how much do I love this podcast? Like, how much do I love wrestling? I was questioning. I snoozed that bitch 3 times till 7:32, and I was like, all right, I gotta get up.
Yeah, dude. Now I was telling people that like this whole weekend I was gonna be waking up at 4:30 a.m. to watch wrestling, and they're like, damn. I mean, we appreciate the commitment, but like if only you were this committed to like eating healthy, going to the gym,
right?
Cutting back on libations.
Yeah, you know. But you do it for wrestling.
But like, I don't know, but I'm going to tell you this before we get into this review. You might just have to go right on and fuck yourself as far as it's concerned on Monday. Because
yeah,
I'm about to tell you this. These motherfuckers, we love y'all, but y'all might just have to wait till our regularly scheduled time for a review. I got news for you. My ass is not purposefully waking up on a Monday morning at 7 o'clock again. Like, fuck, bro.
I think I'm gonna do it because on Friday was like my test run. I wanted to see if I can get away with it without waking up the kids, and they had school on Friday. Monday they have school, but they were like, nah. They're like, we were good. We slept. You didn't wake us up at all. So I was like, okay, I think I can get away with it on Monday then. So
can you get away with it with the wife?
Yeah.
That's the question. Because you're just going to see a nice fingernail painted hand reach into the frame and just.
I mean, I had to do lots of dishes and lots of laundry to be able to do it, but I think it was worth it.
Babe, you want to go shoe shopping?
Yeah.
Hey,
shout out to Toxic.
Happy life, right?
Shout out to Toxic, who's on the comments on Instagram. Man, I missed Crown Jewel. I was tired as fuck last night. I will be joining on Monday because I don't have school on Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah,
okay.
go.
All right. Well, I mean, we'll see what time we're going to do it Monday. Even if you watch it early, Snug, I still might watch that bitch later.
Yeah, that's cool. We'll figure it out.
But like either way, guys, let's get into this show. But I'm happy to say, but just a heads up, I'm going to be extremely positive about this show because this was a really, really good show. In my personal opinion, I enjoyed the ever-loving piss out of this show. Genuinely, I did. But without further ado, Edgar, take us away.
All right, you guys, it's time to get into the Snug Wrestling review for Crown Jewel that took place in Perth, Australia at the Ass Crack of Dawn. The opening match was, in fact, Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed and the famous... What's that?
You're not muted, Tommy.
Yeah, I was.
Heard every word you said.
I don't know how.
Well, mute again and...
The opening match was the the opening match was the famous Australian street fight that supposedly Bronson Reed made very famous, as he's so well known for. There was reports that this was potentially going to be the main event, but it wasn't. It was the opening match because, like Mr. Blood has said, Roman either opens a show or closes a show. I was kind of surprised to see that this was going to be the opening match, because I'm like, I don't see them kicking off the show with a banger like this, especially a street fight, because it's the opening match. It sets the tone for the show. How are the rest of the matches going to top a street fight? But they did. They started off with this Australian street fight. One of my questions was, what makes this specific fight Australian other than the fact that it's taking place in Australia? Well, it was the cricket bats, it was the rugby balls, and luckily it wasn't anything like over the top gimmicky and goofy, because it is Roman Reigns, it's Bronson Reed, two very serious guys. So they had the Australian theme, but this match mostly focused on the interferences, the storytelling. You know, the Usos got involved, Braun Breaker got involved, as we all expected. It's no DQ. But overall, it was a really, really good fucking match, and the right guy won like we predicted. Bronson Reed needed to get this win, and he pinned Roman Reigns. You can say clean, because, I mean, it was a street fight, but this is the second time Roman Reigns has gotten pinned in years, literally. So, holy shit, what a crazy win for Bronson Reed, right?
Yeah, I mean, I might as well have booked this match myself, because every single thing I said was going to happen happened. I said Bronson was going to win. I said the Usos were going to interfere. Tommy and I both said that Braun Breaker ain't got shit to do. He's coming out. And I even said that something that the Usos do is going to cost Roman. And I even said the whole reason they did the DQ stipulation was it was the one way they could protect Roman and still put Bronson over. Every fucking thing we said, or even that I said, shot for shot, fucking happened. So when the match finished, I was like, okay, I like this match a lot, but that just tells me how predictable it really was, because nothing in this match happened that I did not say was going to happen, or did not know was going to happen, or did not call was going to happen. And it didn't lessen my enjoyment of it. I was just like, maybe I'm a little too good at this. Like, you know, because I'm sitting there like, there was no surprise. There was no energy for me. There was no, like, you know, wow, you know, like, it was just like, saw that coming, knew that was going to happen, called that. Oh, here they are. Knew that was going to happen. And Jay screwed him and speared him to the table. Called that. And there's a tsunami. The right guy won. Got it. Done. Figured it out. And I was like, okay. But all I can say positively, the biggest takeaway here for me is the right guy won. Talk about telling the audience that we're supposed to care about this guy, that Bronson Reed is important to the future of the company, that Bronson Reed is meant to be taken seriously, and that you are treating him seriously, and that you yourselves, the writers, take him seriously. If you're talking about wind the clock back a year, he's just playing backup heavy for Solo Sikoa in the Bloodline versus the Bloodline 2.0, and then breaks both of his ankles about 3 weeks from now, a year ago, in War Games. And you fast forward a year, this dude is pinning Roman Reigns in his home country in an opening match, the biggest professional wrestler of the modern day. You cannot tell me that they don't believe in Bronson. That is the biggest match of his career, and that was the biggest win of his entire career. And I could not be happier for him, especially since he did it in his own backyard. So for me, great opener, smart decisions made, perfect. But before we continue, and you're gonna have to cut this part out, Edgar, Tommy, I don't know what's going on with your mic, but even though you're saying it's off, I can hear every single thing happening in your microphone, including you talking right now, which you just said something, and I heard your whole voice, even though it's supposed to be muted. So let's take a pause here. Either Either unplug it, plug it back in or something. But I can hear every sound in your microphone, even though you're muted.
That's weird because even the site itself says I'm muted. So,
But
we can see it. The light is off, but it's still
exactly
working.
The light's off. We can still hear you, but also it doesn't even sound like the mic's registering your voice. I'm hearing nothing but echo in your room. So do me a favor, exit, check your settings, come back in.
All right.
All right. Now what the fuck do we do? Do we just wait for him or what? You're muted now, motherfucker.
Anything stand out to you about this match? Any spot in particular? Anything?
Yeah, dude. Fucking just the shit that went down after the match, dude, was pretty crazy too. Because throughout this whole entire match, Michael Cole was saying, "Oh, Roman Reigns told him that." Told the Usos that he wanted to do this by himself. He didn't want the Usos to get involved, and the Usos came out there. Jey Uso pretty much cost Roman Reigns this match.
He fumbled the bag, but it was on accident. But at the same time, like at the end of the day, Roman said, "There's a reason I want to do this on my own. This isn't like the old days. This isn't like the old times." And I like that moment where they're sitting in the ring together after, and Roman just looks at me and goes, "I love you guys. I love you. Hey, I love you. But I don't want to see you till Christmas."
Yeah, what the fuck was that? What does that even mean?
That makes me wonder if Roman's saying, "I don't want to see y'all until the holidays," as in, I'm not going to be here for the next 2 months.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the case. But like, what's on Christmas? Is there a specific PLE on Christmas?
Saturday Night Main Event's the only event I know in December so far that's been announced.
But that's the 13th. That's not on Christmas.
No, but the new age WWE does give talent now the entire week of Christmas off now, and they pre-tape, so they have for like the last 2-3 years.
Oh yeah.
So, but I did love him sitting in the ring, looking at them like, I love you, but this isn't the old days. Like, there's a reason I didn't want you out here. This only works when you listen to me. And and it's like, at the same time, he's not wrong. But then Jay got all butthurt up in his feelings, and he's like, "I don't need this, man. He's always gonna be him, man. He's always gonna be him. He's always gonna do him, you." And it's like, yeah, but to be fair, Jay, he could have punched you in the face. You speared him through a table. I mean, I'd have had a worse reaction. He was pretty generous with just giving you a calm talking to of discipline.
Oh yeah. That's true.
The other thing too, old Roman would have fed you to Solo when Solo was still a threat.
The other thing that Roman said too that stood out to me was like, these people don't believe I can't do shit on my own, which is a completely new attitude that Roman has now.
That was the big thing. He actually, no pun intended here, acknowledged the fans, and I was like, hey, I like that beat, but. Yeah, man, I'm excited to see where this goes, but it's making me wonder if him saying, "I don't want to see y'all till Christmas," tells me he's off for the next 2 months, unless, the build to War Games is them trying to convince him to come back and help. So
let's get your thoughts in here, Tommy, really quick. Are you good now?
I should be.
All right, unmute your mic and then speak. Mute your mic and then speak. Okay, yeah, we're good. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was my fucking settings. For some bizarre reason, the mic was on the laptop mic instead of the mic itself. So, yeah.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. It happens to me too. Shout out to Ashley Kate Way. He did that a couple of times during the match, says Ashley. I'm assuming they're referring to Roman Reigns, but sorry, Tommy, go ahead.
I will say, I actually really liked this match, despite the fact that I completely agree that I am honestly getting sick and tired of the fucking street fights all over the place. That has been a big criticism for me for a while now, is why the hell are there street fights in every big fucking city you go to in some sort of way? So there's that. But I will also say that this whole thing It was, in fact, Bronson's match to win. We all said that during the predictions. Blood and I both said it leading up to the predictions. So there's that as well. So this whole thing, I'm actually really, really happy with how this match turned out, especially knowing how big of names these two were. And also this whole thing involving Braun Breaker, like Blood said, we all knew it was going to fucking happen. It was going to happen no matter what happened there. Obviously, the Usos were going to show up, even though they're still having issues here and there. But Jay's still going to take the advice that Roman has given him, and we all know it. So I'm starting to wonder what in the world is going to happen when it comes to that accidental spear to Roman.
That was going to be my next question for you guys, is because, you know, I guess what happened after the match when Jay was really upset, Roman was really upset, Jimmy was kind of just standing there like, what the fuck, you know? But could this be, I mean, we see these guys always have tension and issues. We've seen Jay versus Roman in the past. Could this be the start of maybe a future match between Jay versus Roman? Do you guys feel like this is where they're leading to with this?
I feel like if they're leading anywhere, let's just say hypothetically, Roman never got his rematch for the Undisputed Championship, correct? So that means maybe he feels like, okay, well, I'm on Raw now. I want that championship. So maybe that leads to him trying to pursue Seth at the same time LA Knight's pursuing Seth. At the same time, CM Punk is pursuing Seth. And that makes me wonder, could we get a multi-man match here? Or could this be some kind of tournament or a number one contendership match? What I wouldn't hate, and this is going to be me saying, hey, put this on my Christmas list if I can get it before the end of this year. Hear me out here. Seth, what do you call it? Seth Rollins is champion, right? But the number one contendership match, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, LA Knight, fatal four-way. Winner is the number one contender at the Royal Rumble for Seth's World Heavyweight Championship. And I think it comes down to, let's say, either Roman costing Jay or Jay costing Roman, and somehow Punk or LA end up number one contender at the Royal Rumble.
Fuck.
Doesn't
That's
that
a
sound
lot.
good?
That's a lot to take in, but
doesn't that sound fun though?
Man, I don't know. Either way, it's exciting because you got all of these major top stars on Monday Night Raw that all want the World Heavyweight Championship, and that's fucking lovely. I love to see that.
And the Fatal 4-Way. Let's just call it a Fatal 4-Way number one contendership match. We could do it at I don't know, Saturday night's main event, December 13th.
Ashley likes that. She said, I really like the sound of that. Yeah, that does sound pretty cool.
Good taste in wrestling stories. I should book it myself.
I mean, fuck, this was a crazy way to kick off Crown Jewel, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I can't wait I wish that there's going to be a follow-up on Monday Night Raw about this, but Roman already said, pretty much told us he's not going to be on TV for until, you know, at least a couple months.
The only beats we're going to hear about the story are going to come through the mouthpieces of Jay and Jimmy when they're conversing.
Yeah. Well, I'm really looking forward to what Mr. Blood thinks about this next match, because earlier you said that you absolutely love the show, but I mean, this is Stephanie Vaquer and Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton was on this card, and yet you still love the show. That's kind of surprising to me. So I'm interested to hear what you think about this one, because to me, going into this match, I wasn't really too thrilled about it. It's just, there's nothing here for me. There's no build, you know, there's nothing, no issue, no nothing. We talked about this last night, babyface versus babyface. And I know people are like, well, you don't need a storyline. This is just a champion versus champion match. But I'm like, yeah, maybe that's true. And these two are pretty good, but like, I need something more for me to be a little bit more interesting. The match wasn't bad. Stephanie Vaquer won this match. And that was pretty much it for me, man. The only thing that really stood out to me was the fact that Tiffany Stratton is really over in Australia. And I felt like she looked really good in this match, despite how much we critiqued the hell out of Tiffany Stratton. And it just goes back to me realizing she's only been wrestling for what, 4 years? She's not bad for someone who's been wrestling for the amount of time that Tiffany Stratton's been wrestling for. I just got to give Tiffany Stratton props tonight. I thought this match was really great, but it was just a match for me.
It was just a match for me too. This was my least anticipated match in the show. I went into this with zero expectation other than the fact that I expected them to do the smart thing and the right thing, and that was have Stephanie Vaquer win. And I mean, like I had said during predictions, it would make no sense to crown her the world heavyweight champion less than a month ago just to have her lose her very next match. That's not for her title, but it's still her very next match, because that would take the wind straight out of her push, in my opinion. And you have Tiffany on the other side, who's been champion since like fucking January or February, who's only had 17 fucking matches this entire year. Think about that. Champion for 9 months. 9. She's had 17 fucking matches. Absurd. It's ridiculous. Why is she still the fucking women's undisputed champion? Or WWE champion. It's so stupid to me. So, I mean, we are 2 months away from the end of this year. Okay. She's been a champion for over 200 and 20, 40 something days, 60 something days. They said
over 200 days. Yeah.
Like 260 something days. Cause there's less than, there's like 70 something left in this year. And out of those 200 something, she has defended less than 17, but still had 17 matches, because some of those were tag matches. So it's just like, why? It's a waste of time. Put the championship on someone else. So to me, she needed to do the job tonight. She needed to put Stephanie over. She did. And I thought they had a very, very decent match. In my opinion, I'm gonna be honest here, and I think that maybe this might be a hot take, but y'all can kiss my ass in the comments on this one. I think this was the best match Tiffany Stratton had all year, and I think it's because it was against Stephanie Vaquer, and Stephanie Vaquer was the person she wrestled against. Because I would have said that her versus Charlotte was the best match she'd had all year, but Charlotte spent half that match carrying her ass through that match and having to reposition her over and over again and tell her where she needed to be and resetting up her spots and her timing. Like, Tiffany's greenness fucked up Charlotte's ability to keep her on course at Mania, because that could have been her best match of the entire year, because you've seen the matches Charlotte gets out of people at WrestleMania. So when I'm sitting here thinking, okay, now the best match she's had this year are a toss between her and Jade at SummerSlam in a very quick, very choreographed 7-minute match, or here with Stephanie in about 13, 14 minutes, maybe 15. And Stephanie, in my opinion, made Tiffany look like $1 million. But Tiffany was no slouch here tonight. I'm going to give her props. She showed up tonight. There was only 2 spots where she seemed confused or out of position or unsure, where things got a little stiff and I got a little worried. Other than that, right person won. And building new stars is what we're doing. You've been building Tiffany for a long time, but it feels like you're stuck on a loading screen while you're building her. But Stephanie is someone who is still fresh, only in the company for 15 months. And you're trying to build new stars. Well, build them at the same time then. And that's what they did here tonight, in my opinion. And that's why this worked. And it's the only reason this match worked at all, was because they put the right person over. And that was Stephanie Vaquer, La Primavera.
Well, before you go, Tommy, I got a couple comments here that I want to read off from. Ashley says, we love her here in Australia, referring to Tiffany Stratton. And also the Almighty Bink says, thank you, Blood, for saying that. I also got a question for you, Mr. Blood. Tiffany Stratton has been wrestling for 4 years, women's champion. wrestling in these PLEs, and you critique the hell out of Tiffany Stratton, which is fair. You got some valid points. However, what was Charlotte Flair doing 4 years into her career?
She was a world champion.
Was she?
Yeah. She was also one of the 4 horsewomen. She, Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Becky Lynch, with the help of hard-ass workers like Paige and anti-divas like AJ Lee and Caitlyn
on NXT.
From NXT to the main roster, because they all got called up one after the other, were the very reasons women's wrestling had the evolution it had. The only
reason I bring this up, for the people that don't know, Mr. Blood is a huge fan of Charlotte Flair, but I just wanted to make that comparison really quick, just to see what he thought.
4 years into 4 years into Charlotte's WWE career, she had already been a 2-time champion.
Okay, we might have to revisit this another day, because I don't think that's true. But
really, because Google's free.
We will. We'll check Google and AI and Grok, and we'll check all them motherfuckers.
Keep in mind, Charlotte debuted in WWE in like 2012 or 2011 on NXT, or early 2012 in NXT. She was already a champion on the main roster by the end of
we will go over it another day, Blood.
I'm just telling you, homie.
Let's go, Tommy. What you think about this?
Finally, a streak has been ended today. Tiffany Stratton is no longer undefeated in 2025. She has finally taken her first loss by Stephanie Becker. That's been the main thing that's been going through my head all day, is that Stratton's finally, however many, and 1 for this year. So that's been like a really, really main thing within the last couple of weeks leading up to this, is that, I've never been defeated in 2025. Guess what, Stratton? You can't say that now. But I do believe, just like Blood said, that the right woman did, in fact, win here. There was no possible way that she was going to have a reign within less than a month and then lose to Stratton. There was just no way it was happening. I do also completely agree that this is absolutely the best match that Stratton has had all year. And it's because of the fact that she went up against Becker. One of, if I'm being honest, the best women to be called up from NXT within the last year. I'm just going to say it. Between her and Julia, I would much rather see Julia as champion than... Wait, no, not Julia. Yeah, I would much rather see Stephanie Becker than Julia as champion. I'm just going to put that out there.
Well, she is. You're seeing it, bro.
I'm just saying in general. I don't think that Julia should be Women's United States champion. But
you just want to put all the titles on Stephanie Becker, don't you?
Not all of them. It's not like we could randomly resurrect the Divas title and shove that on her too. But still. But this match, I absolutely loved it. I had a whole lot of fun with it.
And before we continue, just for the record, brother.
Oh, here we go. Okay,
Charlotte Flair debuted in WWE in May 2012. She had won. She had won her first NXT Women's Championship a year later in June of 2013, and she won the inaugural WWE Women's Championship in 2016 at WrestleMania. So in her first 4 years, she was already a 2-time champion. And in her first year, she was already NXT Women's Champion. And she was the inaugural winner of that version of the WWE Women's Main Roster World Championship.
That sounds cool. I don't have any Tiffy stats on me, but if I did, I would fucking prove to you that Tiffany Stratton is better than Charlotte fucking Flair.
Sure, when she hits 15-time world champion.
Oh goddamn, that's true, huh?
Yeah.
She does have hella
She's
championships.
only got about
But no,
11
we're just
years to
talking.
go.
We're just talking about the first 4 years, though. The first 4 years.
You're right. And in the and then in the next 9 years, she added another 14 to that.
Yeah. All right, we'll revisit that conversation another day. That does not involve Crown Jewel, because it's time to talk about John Cena versus AJ Styles, man. And I was feeling all the emos, all the emotions during this match. Man, everything from like this match was like for the fucking old school wrestling fans and the TNA fans and the Cena fans and the people that have just been watching wrestling since they were kids, man. This was one hell of a roller coaster, emotional fucking match, dude. AJ Styles came out wearing his old school gear from back in the day. Then John Cena comes out, and I'm like, man, this is going to be one of the last times we see Cena. The last time John Cena's music hits overseas. Man, this is just so fucking, what a moment this was to watch this. And then they have one hell of a match, and they fucking pull all the stops. I think Wade Barrett or Michael Cole said, this was they're pulling out all the classics. They're pulling out all the all the finishers, man. John Cena and AJ Styles paid homage to a whole bunch of people, including Chris Jericho, The Undertaker. Man, those are the only two that I can think of, but there's so many. You guys can probably.
Yeah, Chris Jericho, Undertaker, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, Sting, Bray Wyatt, which was the big
yeah,
Randy Orton, The Miz.
Yeah,
smorgasbord.
Yeah, and it was
and they made a mistake. They did make a mistake on commentary. They said when John Cena chokeslammed him, they said, paid homage to from the phenom to the phenomenal one. And I was like, no, that's not the chokeslam, guys. That was John Cena paying homage to Big Show. That was Big Show's chokeslam, the showstopper. Because that was the chokeslam where he lifted you up and he went down to his knees with it. That's what he hit. He paid homage to Undertaker later with the tombstone. But I digress. Are you? Because I'm ready to gush.
Didn't he do the rock bottom as well? I'm pretty sure.
No. When he went to grab for the rock bottom, we thought it was going to be a rock bottom. He turned it into his sister Abigail.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean it was a feel-good match, man. And for the people that were like, oh man, they're just spamming finishers, and it's just like, man, but it was a nice fucking moment for pro wrestling fans, period. And I loved it.
Yeah, for the people who were going to bitch and moan and say, they're spamming finishers, y'all the same motherfuckers who love AEW, where all they do is spam everybody else's finishers. How many V triggers does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know. The point is that you can take that Meltzer driver and stick it up your ass. But as far as it goes, I had a smile on my face from the moment the bell rang to the end of the match. I am one of the few wrestling fans who can say that I've watched AJ Styles wrestle live maybe 36 times in person at TNA. I also have his autograph. I've also met the man several times. And I have watched his entire mainstream career from TNA and John Cena's entire mainstream career in WWE from literal start to present fucking day in which we stand, where Cena is done in 2 months from Monday, and AJ is done sometime next year. To me, this was everything to me. I could not stop realizing just how old I have gotten, because I was watching AJ wrestle when I was like 8 or 9. So for me, I was, and same thing when I was watching Cena. So, and all I could think the whole match was, this is like, AJ was right. They didn't need a story. When the match was happening, I realized, fuck, you know what? They didn't need a story. He was right. It's going to kick ass. And for almost what was it, like 25 minutes, they kick straight ass, bro. I was in my wrestling feels the whole time. So excited, so willing to, wondering who's going to win, who's going to win, who's going to win. Kick out, submissions. I mean, they paid homage to all these submissions. I mean, Jesus, like everything about the match for me, like Michael Cole said, and I thought was such a poignant and poetic fucking way to put it. This is the type of match that makes you fall in love with wrestling. This is the match. This is why people love professional wrestling. A match like this is why people love this sport. And I was like, fucking nail on the head. Like, as Bully Ray likes to say, circle gets the square. Like, legitimately, as far as it goes, I have no critiques. Start to finish, I felt it in here as a wrestling fan. And I was smiling ear to ear the entire time, just feeling like a kid again, realizing I've got a year left before I ever get to see either of these guys ever in a ring again. And I took every moment in, going back 22 years in my life, and like, wow. This
wasn't just
No.
John Cena saying goodbye.
No.
This was AJ Styles saying goodbye too.
Exactly. And I loved that Cena gave Styles a special fucking entrance. The ring announcer, he handed her the notes, and he said, "You know what? Fuck this. It ain't just about me tonight." He made sure Styles got these props. You saw Styles go, "Holy shit," when they mentioned him being the ace and leader of the Bullet Club. And when they name drop Bullet Club, Styles goes, "Holy shit." Thinking, I didn't know they were allowed to say that shit. But aside from watching Styles appear in his OG, TNA freaking Ring of Honor-esque style gear he used to wear, and he was wearing the necklace too, the old choker he used to wear. And I was like, bro, like, still in great shape all these years later to still pull that gear off. And they just went out there and they had one for the fans that are fans of fans. Like, I mean, diehards. Right guy won. As I said, Cena needed it. I said, Triple H loves a record. He's going to want that 100th fucking PLE win under John's name as he goes out, so they can break 2 records in the same year with him, 17-time world champion. And so they can say, hey, he's now in the top like 3, I believe, 100th PLE wins of all time. He's like 100 and he's behind Undertaker and somebody else. But no notes. Purely as a pure wrestling, sports entertainment fan, whatever you want to fucking call it. In that moment, I was just happy for 25 fucking plus minutes. Not a thing in the world was on my mind other than the moment that I was in. And that right there made everything else about the PLE kicked up to 11 for me. I could not be more positive about this. I really couldn't be.
Yeah, this match, pun intended, was phenomenal. It truly was. With everything that they referenced, with everything, it was perfect. And for the people saying, oh, they're just spamming finishers, they're not just spamming finishers. Cena has said it before. He knows that he can't wrestle every person that has been important to his career. Yeah. He has full-blown said that. So the best thing he can do is reference those who were so big for his career. And doing their finishers is the best way for him to do that. That is exactly what he was doing. This entire match, perfect. Top to bottom. Holy shit. This easily match of the night. Quite easily. those who are just listening, Blood just nodded when I said that. Just easily for me.
I could not disagree with that on any level. I agree with you in my fucking bones for that. I nearly I held back some of the words I was saying so I could let you move on. I actually, and I'm full blown man and competent and secure enough to say this. I legit welled up with tears toward the end of the match. I was that happy. It made me feel validated as a wrestling fan that everything I ever loved, every minute, every second I ever invested into the sport of professional wrestling, I'm getting emotional now, was worth all the time, all the patience in TNA lines in the Florida sun in the summer at Universal Studios in 2002, 3, 4, 5, 6, waiting to get in the building and getting front row and having AJ Styles get slammed into the guardrail in front of me and him patting my hand once because he thought he hit me in the face, and then signing off my 17th birthday. I have photos. I was in the TNA Impact Wrestling ring on live TV. They sang me happy birthday, September 12th, 2011. I have pictures of me doing the fucking Rated R Superstar on their turnbuckle, and right down to the left of me is Devon Dudley, and down here to the right is AJ fucking Styles with his arms crossed, smiling, looking up at me like this, doing that to me 4 feet away. It means that much to me, that much. So when I saw this, what more could I ask for? They went out there and did a selfless service for professional wrestling fans tonight. They said, hey, everything you ever loved, it was worth it. And they paid homage to everybody they could tonight that ever mattered to their rises. It was a full display of humility in that ring. Everything about that interaction today was humble. It was a wrestling in gratitude. If you hate this match, I don't think you're an actual professional wrestling fan.
You're not crying, bro. I'm crying. No, I'm crying. No, wait, what? I'm not crying. You're crying.
Yeah, and you know what? But I'm not afraid to say I almost cried there talking about
it, dude. No,
dude. You know, but it's that tells you how much this shit means to people.
No, it does, dude. This kind of I got emotional. There's a lot of feelings in this match, dude. This kind of reminded me of the Rock versus Hogan at WrestleMania type thing. This is going to be one of those matches that's going to be remembered forever, just like that one. That match was really important to a lot of wrestling fans, just like this one.
I genuinely think that of all the matches we got, I don't think any of them meant as much to me as the one we got tonight in his retirement tour. I think this one genuinely meant the most to me out of his entire retirement tour, because it wasn't about a title. It wasn't about a feud. It wasn't about revenge or payback
storyline
or who's better. It was just like, fuck the storyline. Hey, let's just wrestle. Let's just go out there and let's do what this has always been about. Let's just have fun and entertain people and let it be that simplistic. And that
they told a great story in the ring.
Exactly. It was a story of, I respect the hell out of you, but can I beat you one more time, or can you beat me one more time? And that's all it had to be. It's all it needed to be. And let me tell you this, that might be my favorite fucking match I have seen this year.
Yeah, this match is gonna be remembered forever. It's gonna go down in history for sure. Good stuff. And you're right, Blood. This match put me in a way better mood when it comes to the rest of the show. I wasn't really too excited about the next match at first, because it was Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus the Kabuki Warriors. Just a storyline that we've gone over every single week that I haven't really been a fan of. But they are in Australia, so you have to have Rhea Ripley, so that's cool. You put them with Io Sky. You put her with Io Sky, who's beloved by the fans, and then you got Kairi Sane and Asuka. I really, really enjoyed this match a lot more than I expected for many reasons. Asuka, man, I'm really liking the aggressiveness and the heel shit that Asuka has been doing in this ring. She looked vicious, she looked threatening, she looked like a badass. Io Sky was she looked great like always, and it's Rhea Ripley, fuck man, the biggest fucking star in the company. And Kairi Sane, well, she was just kind of just there. However, this match was really good. Surprisingly, Rhea Ripley allowed Io Sky to get the pin in this match because they got the win, which I thought was. I guess I was just expecting Rhea Ripley to get the pin in her home country, but she let Io Sky do it. But yeah, how'd you guys feel about this one?
I'll start off by answering or at least acknowledging the last thing you said. I truly believe the reason Rhea humbled herself and allowed Io to get the pin was so Io could get vindication, because this whole thing started with Asuka trying to control Io, trying to force her to do things her way. The whole reason Io lost her championship match several months ago was because Asuka and Kairi got in the way, and then Asuka blamed Io for the very fact, saying, well, you wouldn't have lost if you had already let us go out there in the first place. It would have ended up the same way. You getting on the apron distracting shit, and then I still lose. And genuinely speaking, I did have a lot of fun with this match. I thought Kairi looked great. I thought Asuka looked great. I thought everybody looked great. I loved how they came out of the bell the first 2.5 minutes, just freaking Asuka and Io, like they tried to jump them first, and then Kairi and Rhea get thrown out on separate sides. Then we just got to see a nice little bit of a kind of light, strong style. They were holding back a little bit, but light, strong style, some chain wrestling, a little bit of technical wrestling between Asuka and Io. And until you really see Asuka come out of the cage with her adrenaline bumping, you really do forget just how fucking quick and smooth Asuka is. Mm-hmm. Because I was like, God damn, you wouldn't remember this woman's 45 years old. So with coming back from a knee injury and surgery, she's still moving like a 29-year-old. And I thought the match, I thought they kept great pace with the match for the majority of the match. The ending went the way I expected. Kairi was the right person to take the pin. Keep Asuka the strong heel. You want Io and Rhea to go over anyway. So Kairi eating the pin does make the most sense. But I do like that they did give Kairi a lot of offense here. So she didn't just come off as some weakling. She did put in a lot of good work in this match. Other than that, I think the whole match was inoffensive. I don't know where we go from here, because we do know that we are holding off to see if Kairi is going to free herself from Asuka, or if Kairi is going to submit to Asuka and go full heel. But I feel like the better story is, we see Kairi turn on Asuka at War Games or something. Maybe this goes on until War Games. We see more and more of the abuse from Asuka to Kairi. And then you see Io trying to find an inner self to free Kairi from her sense of obligation to Asuka. And it doesn't work until finally in War Games, Kairi breaks free herself in a feel-good moment type of thing. I think that's the better way to go with that story. But other than that, match was inoffensive, well worked, right people won, and crowd loved it. So no problems here.
I love the fact that commentary also went through the cultural side of things as well. That in itself, they did explain what in the world all of this was. Not as much as Blood did, obviously.
Senpai, it means something. That's what I was telling you guys before. That's a very important thing in Japanese culture. Senpai.
Took them long enough, but yeah.
They told us weeks ago.
Yeah, they told us weeks ago without fully saying it. And now they've fully explained it. But I will say that this match, I did like it. I had quite a bit of fun with it. Rhea was Rhea, of course, but someone certainly took the majority of the match between the two. Io took the majority of this match. It's like, I love Rhea, but Io, man, she put in the work for this. Like, a ton of this match was her getting double teamed by Asuka. Shut up, Blood.
There's a reason for that, Tommy.
Giggity, giggity. All right.
So the reason for that, just really quick, and I'm gonna let you finish, is Rhea Ripley being the biggest star, being in her home country. They wanted to build up for that hot tag, so when Rhea Ripley gets tagged in, she gets the big pop, and then she goes in hot, and the fucking place explodes. It's just for the hot tag, but that's how That's how good tag team matches are supposed to go.
The funny thing is, she didn't get as big as a pop as I thought she would when she got hot tagged. I thought it'd be crazier than that. And I was actually surprised. I was a little let down by the audience.
Yeah, that's true.
Her entrance pop was bigger than that hot tag was.
You know what I noticed too? All the pops tonight were huge the moment the music played and then died out immediately when they walked out. Every single person, even Cena, even AJ, Rhea, fucking Bronson Reed, huge explosion. And then the moment they're out there on the stage, everybody lulls. And I was like, bro, in Europe, they'd be singing their whole theme song for 5 minutes. What are we doing?
They were also there in that same arena last night on SmackDown. So I'm pretty sure a lot of the fans are the same fans that were there on SmackDown, which could be kind of draining, no?
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
But to finish this up, I absolutely love this match. The right team won here. And hopefully this pin, it may piss Asuka off a little bit by the time we see her next. Wouldn't be surprised on that. Especially with the kickoff show. Asuka full blown put her fist up and was screaming at Asuka, "Are you scared of me? Are you scared of me?" Like, this whole thing, it's got to end at War Games.
Yeah, I have a pretty good prediction, I think, as to what's going to happen here, because Blood, did you get to watch SmackDown last night?
I had seen a bunch of clips from when you had recorded, because I had yet to have the VPN, and when we decided that we were going to move the review because of your personal reasons and whatnot, and then I already had plans to go out, I wound up not watching every bit of the show.
So last night we saw Zelina Vega and Aleister Black on screen as a couple together.
I saw that from your reactions, yes.
So I have a feeling, thank you, by the way, for watching the clips. Check out our clips at Snug Wrestling. Anyway, I saw that happen. So I have a feeling the story with Io Sky and Kairi Sane and Asuka is going to continue on Raw. I have a feeling Rhea's going to end up on SmackDown to help Damian Priest with that whole situation with Aleister Black and Zelina Vega.
I think that's highly possible. I wouldn't be surprised. I also would be surprised at the same time because Raw is hoarding the biggest stars. I thought this earlier today when I was watching the main event, and when we get to the main event, we're about to, for the person who won. And all I thought was, this whole show was a circle jerk for Raw. This whole show. Everybody from Raw won, and every match was a Raw match. And I was like, huh. So the first thing I thought was, this is them just going, watch Raw on Netflix for these biggest stars that you love so much. Like, SmackDown did the job tonight, for real. But I can see her going over temporarily to help with the story, but I also can see that slowing down her momentum because you're putting her in 2 back-to-back mid-card stories. And even though she needed a cool down period, eventually you're going to need Rhea to step back up in a sense. And I have a weird feeling that they are just holding their breath with Rhea, because my ultimate prediction before we move on here is that when Liv comes back and has trouble with Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez, and she's getting ousted from her own freaking team. Guess who she's going to ask for help? She's going to ask mommy. And I think that's going to be the reconciliation of Liv and Rhea. So
yeah, very likely too.
When
That's a
it
good
comes
point.
to the PLE things, I'm surprised you haven't noticed this sooner, because a lot of the PLEs are either majority Raw matches or complete Raw matches.
Oh, I've noticed. I've been noticing. We know that it's a $5 billion flagship show. At this point, SmackDown is lucky to get Raw scraps. So, and Raw, it's been made very clear to all the fans who are at least paying attention, that is, Raw is the show WWE cares about.
All right, you guys. Now for the main event, the match that I was looking forward to the most out of all of these matches, even the Cena and AJ Styles match, Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes. Man, lots of history, lots of stuff going on here. We also saw a video package earlier in the night where, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker were talking to Paul Heyman, where Paul Heyman was advising them, telling them, don't get involved in this match. Seth has to do it on his own. But what if Seth doesn't win? Then he doesn't win. Then he's fucked, So I love the way that this match was built up. They made Seth Rollins look like the guy that was losing his cool. He was not as confident. He's not usually, his usual collected self. And that's how this match started. Seth Rollins started off looking really bad. He was losing his temper. Cody Rhodes was all over Seth Rollins at the start of this match, and they kind of made you believe, like, oh my God, Cody's got this fool under control. Cody has him under his thumb. Cody beat him 3-0. Seth Rollins is losing his cool. Cody Rhodes has this in the bag, but no, they go back and forth, and eventually Seth Rollins is the one that comes back, and he starts fighting back, and they go all out in this match with the false finishers, the finishes left and right, and Cody does everything he can to put Seth Rollins down, but he keeps kicking out. I really love this match despite the fucking overdone finishers and the overdone false finishes. I was really pulling for Cody to win this one because I really wanted to see Seth Rollins lose, but Seth Rollins got the win. He had to cheat. He grabbed the famous watch that Cody Rhodes gave him at WrestleMania, and that specific watch was the watch that Seth Rollins used to beat Cody Rhodes here at this Crown Jewel. So I thought that was lovely as far as storytelling goes. I'm not really happy about Seth Rollins winning, but at least Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed can now say, hey, you're our guy. We trust you. We will follow you. You're the main guy. And that I can get behind. I thought this main event was pretty fucking good, if I'm being honest. But what did you guys think?
I enjoyed the hell out of this. All the crazy false finishes aside, though I can't overly complain because there was a shit ton of finishers used in the Cena AJ match. However, one could argue in the world of professional wrestling, if it's not the actual wrestler who utilizes that maneuver regularly, it's considered not as effective. Like everybody does a super kick, but unless it's Shawn Michaels hitting the sweet chin music, that motherfucker's not putting anybody down for the count. That being said, I did enjoy the story that got told during the match of Cody having Seth's number and knowing it, and Seth realizing, oh fuck, he knows it. Because in the first few minutes, that first sequence they have where Cody reverses him and then Seth's just on his knees, like, and sits back on the heels of his feet and just like looks like extremely disappointed in himself, realizing this guy is out wrestling me and we've been wrestling for like 90 seconds. And I thought that was really great. And I thought Seth sold the hell out of that portion of the story throughout the match. realizing that no matter what he does, Cody is better than him, and Seth knows it. And the only way he could beat Cody is if he cheated. And the one thing that I think stands out to me that I'm wondering if this is going to be a massive point of contention later is, okay, you did beat Cody, Paul says, but you had to cheat to do it, didn't you? So are you really better than Cody Rhodes? You didn't beat him fair and square. And I think that part of the story is what I'm most interested in, is aside from the fact that the great story, like I said, of Cody telling the story of having Seth's number and Seth telling the story of knowing Cody had his number throughout the match, I think the asterisk on this win is a point in the story that needs to get further elaborated on. Yes, Seth, you beat Cody Rhodes, but you couldn't do it without cheating. And I wonder if Paul is going to bring that up, or if Braun is going to bring that up later when they turn on him and go, you know, we thought you were the Vision, but we knew that there was a problem. We knew there were cracks. We knew that you weren't who we thought you were, because you couldn't even beat Cody Rhodes without cheating to do it. And that means he was always better than you. And in that match, not only did he prove it, but you showed everybody else in the world that you knew it too. So I'm extremely excited to see where this goes. And I mean, also the fucking avalanche crossroads off the top turnbuckle, a move I never thought I'd ever see in my life. Never knew that was even something they could make work or even possible. Wow. That'll be in WWE 2K26.
I will say that it's very clear that Cody always had Seth's number. There's no doubt about that. He definitely confirmed that Cody was in his head during the kickoff show yesterday, where he just full-blown walked off the stage as soon as Paul Heyman was about to hand him the mic. So in that moment, he definitely proved that Cody was in his head the entire time. Michael Cole is absolutely right on that. Now, the match itself, it's number 2. There's no beating Cena and AJ. There's just no beating that. But I will say this one, as Blood said, there were a bunch of stuff that I look at it, I'm like, I didn't even know that was possible. How? One of them being that avalanche crossroads. That's one of those things where you're like, it requires him to be literally on the side of Cody. How is this gonna work from the top of the turnbuckle? But they made it work, and it looked great. It was the wow factor that this match was going to have eventually. But this whole thing, I absolutely loved it. For the sake of time, I'm going to end it there.
I'd also like to bring up the last point that Cody got busted open. He was bleeding on the side of his head here. And also, when Seth clocked him with that watch, he uppercutted him from the crossroads, he actually nailed him. Because when the match is over and Cody, and he rolls off of Cody and you see Cody over, Cody's entire inside of the bottom of his mouth is filled up with blood. And he's literally reaching in his mouth like this. And he's like, got it all over his fingers. And I'm like, dude, he actually clocked him with that Rolex, bro. And so I'm just like,
well, yeah, because I mean, if you go back and watch it, how Seth Rollins was positioned, it was kind of like a blind shot that Seth took.
It was like, well, just gonna aim up. Sorry.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know a great dentist. Her name's Britt Baker.
Yeah.
But I honestly think this might be the most solid. You know what? Fuck yeah, I'm going to double down on that. I think this is the most solid start to finish PLE of this year. The most solid PLE of the whole year. There's not a match on here that I can call bad. There's not a match on here I can call mid. Every match I either thought was enjoyable to fucking incredible. And I don't have anything below that. So for me, when I think of Crown Jewel, I'm thinking, oh, it's just an in-between. It's the first pay-per-view of the fall, and we're getting into the real shit people want to see, like War Games. And you just think it's going to be one of those sleeper PLEs, right? Nah, man, this was a great PLE and much better than last year's. Much better. Because this actually had stakes, story, for the most part when it came to the men's side of it. There was more hype behind it because the match is going in. It felt like throughout the night there was something to lose for nearly everybody in this on this card, whether it be a sense of trust in an oracle, a sense of, hey, I have to lose and sacrifice my pride by losing to you, and you're the better champion of the night. I have to concede to that. Losing your family, your friends, Asuka's tag match with the girls, or just, Roman losing to someone like Bronson Reed, and Bronson Reed gaining the biggest win of his career and the biggest match of his career. Cody having to sacrifice his pride and actually losing to Seth, and now he's not QB1 according to Seth. I thought every match served a purpose tonight, and I think that's a win in my book.
Well, your book reads a little bit different than mine, but that's
the difference between you and I.
Okay.
That's the difference between you and I, Snug.
Nah, you're supposed to agree with everything that I say, Blood.
No, that's the difference between you and I. I can read. And I write books.
Read.
I can't read.
Yeah.
But they definitely proved that they can have a really good PLE without random big name returns such as Brock Lesnar all of a fucking sudden.
Yeah, they don't really overdo it with the big returns. Like, I saw a whole bunch of reports before Crown Jewel started that they were like, oh, Edge is reportedly in Australia. Edge might return tonight. I'm like, bro, shut the fuck up. No,
Dirt sheets be damned. But I will say before we sign off here, tonight was the perfect example of when WWE keeps things just simple and fun. It's a success. That's what it comes down to. No overcomplicated booking, no crazy ass over interference and over this and over that and convoluted this and a return run in here, like which we've had on nearly every fucking show this year in some form of capacity. It was just one-on-one. Who's better, me or you? One-on-one. Who's better, me or you? 2-on-2. We want respect. Yeah, well, we want revenge. Done. First match. I'm going to prove that I'm great and that I'm better than you. Yeah, well, I'm going to prove to you that I'm the greatest of this entire generation, and beating me is going to make a name for you. Everything was simple. And then John Cena and AJ just, hey, we're out here to have fun and entertain you. Nice, neat bow on the whole show. It didn't have to be just the overactive ADHD fucking booking Triple H and Nick Khan and Bruce Pritchard have been known for in the last year. It worked because they were like, let's dial it the fuck back. And it worked. Let that be a lesson to y'all. If you ever see this shit, sometimes less is more.
And
yeah,
ESPN
well, on that note,
definitely saw it because they just recently, right after, put out the grade for this. And it is no longer average. They rated it a B, so they have clearly seen an improvement.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Too bad
God.
Too bad that $1.5 billion deal couldn't buy a little bit of bias.
Hey, that's good though, because they went from a C to a B, which means that the next PLE just has to be better. They have to get to that A, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, I don't see ESPN giving them an A anytime soon. I think ESPN is going to continuously undercut WWE on purpose to keep them humble in this deal.
Fuck yeah, do that shit, bro. Because I want to see WWE bring the fucking heat, bro. That's what I want to see.
Like, eventually those ratings are going to get under their skin, and they're going to be like, oh, you want an A show? Kermit the Frog meme typing on a typewriter insert here. Well, let me just show you what I got coming up at WrestleMania.
The writers in the office are like,
Triple H is just in there. I'm bringing everybody back.
Oh, fuck, dude.
You want an A?
Hey.
You want an A? Okay. AJ Lee, bra and panties match with Rhea Ripley.
No, chill, bro.
No.
You want to talk about
God.
A? I got an A for you. It's called ass.
Oh shit, no, bro. Now you're trying to take it way back to the Attitude Era, bro. No, we can't do that.
We don't
Isn't
need
that what
that
all the
shit.
fans have been bitching and moaning they want anyway? Give them what they want.
Jesus Christ, we got to get up out of here. That was a review for Crown Jewel at the Snug Wrestling Podcast. One hell of a fucking show. I think B is a pretty reasonable grade. So I'm happy with that grade. I'm happy with the show, and I'm happy with this review. I hope everyone else is also. So, Mr. Blood, get us the fuck out of here.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Snug Wrestling. That, folks, was the Crown Jewel 2025 review. Thanks for kicking it with us. We appreciate every single one of you for tuning in, as always. Don't forget, we're live every Monday and Friday night after Raw and SmackDown go off the air on Instagram, Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, and Facebook for live post-show reviews, and as a bonus for reaction content during the weekly WWE broadcasts on all of our socials. Then hang out with us every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Pacific on TikTok Live, where myself, Mr. Blood, and the leader of Snug Wrestling, Edgar, that handsome Mexican over there, do our weekly one-on-ones where we dive into random wrestling topics and answer your fan questions live on the air. So follow Snug Wrestling on all social media platforms, as well as on Apple and Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, folks, stay safe, stay savage, and stay snug. And because our boy Toxic ain't here, I said that was one time for the one time. Yeah, I said 4 letters.
4 letters. One
word.
word.
Yes.